First, I just want to join all of you in wishing for the 25th year celebration, and what a way to celebrate. Celebrating greatness. I work in education. This looks like where the teacher just quietly looks and enjoys everything of success. So to all of you, that's the real emotion I can sense in the room, but thank you for that. But somewhere in the email that Dilip sent, there were 3 words which I thought was very powerful. He said an evening of reflection, recognition, and renewed inspiration. Very, very important for an organization which wants to be timeless. Reflection, recognition, and renewed inspiration. This is the way I think most organizations should be built. Dilip, congratulations for whoever looks at it that way. I'm here primarily for Dilip, but also to learn. But as a moderator, you know, the biggest advantage one gets is you have to read, you have to learn. As a byproduct, hopefully one also evolves. But Mr. Santhanam, in this process, Saint-Gobain for me is like the Bata of India. So I don't think we should tell the French that we think of this as an Indian company. And we think like Bisleri means mineral water. We think tomorrow, when you say Saint-Gobain, it will be infrastructure, materials, glass and everything. For making that happen in India, I think all of us who are entrepreneurs here in this region, we should realize that there was spirit of intrapreneurship and entrepreneurship. One of the things I believe, and Dilip told me in discussion we were saying, what's the one thing that you always want to do and want to do next, is the spirit of entrepreneurship. That I think is very powerful in this region, and for you to come and give us that vision of how you and your team were truly entrepreneurs in India, I think is the right way to celebrate this evening. Thank you so much. I also want to say that when I look at you, I look at a few things. Your ability to focus, wherever I've seen, that ability to look sharp, listen, but also give a smile. And I just checked when ChatGPT told me when you studied. He finished IIT Madras in 1978, the year I was born. Not to make you feel old, not to make you feel old, but just the way to look fit, crisp and focus. And there's nothing got to do with age, but it's a challenge for the people who are younger in the room to say, how do you look like that now? I'm not saying at your age. How to look at this age like that is a great challenge. So I want to give it to you on that. Thank you. Moving on, because the question paper was out in his presentation partly, but the advantage is he said the high points. I want to quickly move into something else. Because this is entrepreneurs in this room, leaders, transformers, and managers, coming out of the Congo region, which you said is very powerful and very proud about it, that out of almost nothing, many of us have created, many of these people are phenomenal. But I want to talk about innovation. Your slide spoke about it. When we say innovation, it's a buzzword, it sounds cool, it sounds modern, but அதே சமயத்தில் இங்கே இருக்கிறவங்க நிறைய பேர் நினச்சிருக்காங்கன்னா கண்டினியூஸ் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். ஏதோ ஒன்று மாற்றி டு க்ரோ பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கிறோம். How is innovation as a process, as a culture, as a science, as an art, different from responding to market customer? How do you build an innovation culture? How do you build a team? Is it top down? Is it bottom up? The whole ecosystem of innovation sounds okay for a digital company. If our Fantastica suits பண்றாருன்னா, there is an innovation. Infra materials பண்றாங்க, chemicals பண்றாங்க. But how does innovation matter to all of us from now to the future?
I think, so we look at innovation in 4 or 5 buckets, okay? We look at the materials, which is the classical material science work that we do. I think our labs and many others do that quite well. I think the work that we do even better is on process innovation. So I've just give you 4 or 5 buckets in which you as entrepreneurs can look at. And process innovation. And I can tell you that in Perundurai as well as in Palakkad, we have done one of the process innovation which is unique. What is the digital twin? We created a digital twin for a furnace. We took the idea from our French colleagues but we implemented it. They were not able to implement it there. They had a lot of difficulties. So I think the process innovation, material innovation, the product improvement that you do constantly, you got to say that I have to have certain percentage of my sales coming from new products. I think as entrepreneurs, you have to be embarrassed to put the same product to the same customers for more than 5 years. So that I have to find a way. Now that can come from continuous tweaking, or it could be some breakthrough. And then you have this business model innovation, which is really changing many other things today. I think there are some good companies which have done this business model innovation. Dell is an outstanding example of business model innovation. But I would say that for Indian entrepreneurs, vertical integration is still a business model that we have to exploit. I think the great companies are now going back to vertical integration. You know, the BYDs of the world, the Teslas of the world. That's another opportunity where you do the entire value chain innovation. So I think there are 4 or 5 buckets. But I think innovation is the mindset of the senior leadership. Okay, it is a mindset of the senior leadership. I can tell you that when Munni or I or PK, when we go to our SGR India, the first thing they will tell me is, or any one of us business leaders is, these are the new product developments that we are doing. Some of them are incremental, some of them are breathtaking. And today, I think the opportunities for combining several things and throwing digital into it, you are able to do much more innovation. Okay, I talked about the process innovation in one of our companies in Perundurai and Palakkad. It's a very old process, 75-year-old process. What we did was a digital twin, and we innovated completely, and that innovation is now going to 7 of our global factories. And they keep saying it is done in Perundurai and Palakkad. They use that word Perundurai and Palakkad, this came from us. So I think you as entrepreneurs must have this innovation mindset. But if you don't have innovation as your mindset, which is really continuous improvement, and it could lead to breakthrough improvements. We are seeing that often. I always say that businesses, we have to see it in orbits. Okay, when you want to go from one orbit to another orbit, anywhere, you need a significant amount of energy that is required. You don't realize that you're putting that energy. In thermodynamics, it is latent heat. So we need that kind of continuous improvement, and suddenly you discover that you're moving to a next orbit on innovation, which is what we did. 10 years ago, when I asked for patents, everybody laughed. I said it's very difficult. Last year we made 42 patents, and we missed 10 filing because we were late in filing. Otherwise it would have been 50 plus. This is all that comes to my mind. You as entrepreneurs have to ask for it. Okay, and within you. Then there is several things. The thing that I believe is there is immersion. I think innovation comes from people who are deeply immersed in their work. Okay, we need to find those people who are deeply immersed. You have a lot of information that is floating around today, and that leads to idea, and then you influence the people, and then it becomes an innovation. So that's a cycle. So I've always seen that if you're not deeply immersed in customer or in market or in technology, you can't innovate. Okay, so that's simple.
You're almost sounding as if every entrepreneur should be like a artist who is always excited to do something new and challenge themselves, and the whole process is geared to not be comfortable with what was done yesterday.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say that the guy who said this the best is Andy Grove, right? He said he was paranoid. It's a tragedy after he left. Intel forgot to be paranoid. Today Intel is a pale shadow of what it is. You know, when you are in college, I think to be part of Intel is like everything. And today it's unfortunate that Intel is a pale shadow. That's because, so I want entrepreneurs to be paranoid that if I don't innovate, I'll be disrupted. Now the problem that I see in India is clustering. I see entrepreneurs cluster around an industry. So there is a Me Too mindset. That's fine, there is nothing wrong. But once you are a me too, you have to go to the next stage. You have to go into the next orbit. The next orbit can come to you only from innovation or global market.
So you're also saying don't just be comfortable with cost advantages, labor advantages, market advantages, and you have to move on and find a niche, create something, transform something.
Absolutely. I think cost advantages are transient. I think we believe that by 2030 we will be 30% of the world. In no business, India has 30% of the world in any group, because we are 4%, right? We are 4% of the world in anything. 4% except in education, where we are much higher. But in terms of any industry, manufacturing, services, we are higher. Manufacturing, we are 4% of the world. Steel, maybe slightly more, but automotive 3%, 4% on the marine. I think we believe that we will be in the 30%. But we are not satisfied with that. I think what Munni and I, we have discussed in the glass is 50% of the world's engineering, technology, process improvement, and new product development has to come out of India. Now, I don't know whether it's possible. I think that is the kind of thing that motivates. Yes, we will be profitable, we'll improve. So I don't know whether it's greatness, but I think for me, if 2030 or 35, if India as part of the Saint-Gobain group, 30 to 50% of the global innovation comes out of India or out of the Indian talent, I think that's a day. I'm sure that profits would have been there, turnover would be there, growth would be there. I think as entrepreneurs, you earned. I think you should strive for that greatness. I think you have more wealth than you ever imagined, right? Many of you. 25 years ago to now, most of the entrepreneurs have earned tremendously in India. Okay? I think today what would drive would be, how can I really make a ding in the world? That's a statement, right? Yes. I think that is what would be. Or if your industry is only India, really be the one where everybody will emulate. I would like you to be the Hatsons or Milky Mist. Okay? I mean, when I meet Chandramogan, எனக்கு ஒரு புல்லரிப்பா இருக்கு. நான் அவரை பார்த்தா எனக்கு வந்து ஐஐடியில் வந்து அவர் வந்து அந்த த்ரீ வீலரில் வந்து அந்த அருண் ஐஸ்கிரீம் கொடுத்து அந்த கசாட்டா அந்த பால் வச்சு பண்ணார். இப்போ வந்து 9,000 கோடி கம்பெனி, digitally advanced, farmers love that, humility combined with confidence. அதுதான் முக்கியம் நமக்கு. அது வந்து உங்கள்கிட்ட வரலன்னா நிறைய இந்த நாட்டில் நிறைய பேர் இல்லை உங்களை மாதிரி. அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம்.
Fantastic. Yes.